Hello again. I dare say that viewers have seen by now that Nicola Sturgeon, the former leader of the Scots Nationalist Party and First Minister, has been arrested in connection with a large sum of money which has allegedly gone missing from the party funds. Now, of course, I have not the least idea if any money has really gone missing, still less whether Nicola Sturgeon had anything to do with the business. But I have been fascinated to see just how trusting and naive people in the SNP were when it came to money. For example, the chief executive of the party was married to the leader of the party and they both lived in the same house. Can nobody really see why that's a terrible idea, liable to lead to raised eyebrows? Your common sense would tell you that this meant that the financial affairs of a major political party were a bit too much in the family, as you might say. It was the kind of arrangement which anywhere else would have immediately started alarm bells ringing, and people would have pointed out that at the very least it looked bad. Because Nicola Sturgeon was so popular and progressive, though, and fought for the rights of trans people, nobody thought for a moment that the usual rules of this kind should apply to her. She was viewed as being almost saint-like with her opposition to the Tories and support for all the right causes. As I say, the fascinating thing to me is not whether there was any wrongdoing, I know nothing about that, but rather that everybody should have accepted such an unusual situation and not for a moment thought that it was far from ideal. This is often the way with left-wing and liberal people. If they are dealing with people whom they regard as being of the right sort, that is to say, either black or holding progressive views, then they do not think that the usual rules of caution around money and portable property should apply to them. It is for them unthinkable that black people or left-wingers should be prone to the same temptations around cash as the rest of us, and that normal precautions should be taken against the possibility of peculation. We've seen another splendid instance of this lately, and that was with a charity which was led by Rory Stewart, the British politician. I give a link in the description to this video to an article reporting this under the headline, "The Rise and Rise of Give Directly." It says that the Cash Group is on track to become one of the world's leading global poverty charities. This was in the summer of last year when Rory Stewart became leader, and it was touted as a marvellous idea. You see, so many charities like Oxfam and Save the Children and the rest of it take people's money in Europe and America, and then they go off and help Africans by employing middlemen and a big infrastructure to handle all the finances and so on. Why not do away with all that and simply give the money directly to the Africans who need it? Simply give the charity $100 here and they'll hand it to a starving African in the Congo. What could possibly go wrong? What could go wrong, of course, is that Africans are just as prone to being greedy and dishonest as white people in Europe. I give a link to another newspaper article in the description to this video, which explains just what went wrong. If you don't keep strict control over large sums of money and ensure that accounts are kept and receipts demanded, then people are going to steal the money. Left-wing people don't get this. They imagine that black Africans are somehow more noble or high-minded than we white folk, and that if you just wire millions of dollars to the Congo, then the Africans there will make sure it's handed out properly to those who need it without the need for a lot of tiresome paperwork. This view of black people is genuinely racist because it's based upon not regarding them as being like the rest of us. If you allow millions of dollars to float around in any organisation in this country without keeping proper accounts, then loads of it will be embezzled. It's simply human nature. Why would Africans be any different? About $1 million has been stolen in the Congo since this scheme began, soon after Rory Stewart took over at the charity. Human nature is very much the same throughout the world, and if you don't keep a strict eye on your funds, then trust me, people will start helping themselves.